Okay, this is your overview video for chapters 1 through 4 of Things Fall Apart. You can see it's about 30 pages. Some things you might want to have readily available. This video, have your book. Remember, it's not a reading class, so you certainly can use the audio files that are online, and make sure you have your packet. That there is a picture of Chanawa Achebe. So chapters 1 through 4, just a brief overview. A reminder, the African vocabulary words are going to be words that are in the squiggly italic print in your paragraphs, in your text. And there is a glossary of the definitions of these words, of these African words, in the back of your book. So if you look at your book at page 6, you see they have the word Ojinyi. And if you look in the back of the book, there's a small alphabetical glossary. You can hear me looking at it. And in the back, it tells you that that is a musical instrument or a kind of a gong. So use that resource. It's going to help you learn some of those vocabulary words and also help you understand, obviously, what you're reading. So there you have an image of Okonkwo. You're going to meet him. He's your main character in chapter 1. This is a very readable text. This is you tracing Okonkwo in his tribe and his life's journey and learning about their culture, their traditions, their lifestyle, etc. You are also going to meet his father, Unoka. You're going to see some proverbs. Proverbs are usually introduced by words such as, the elders say this. That's going to be a proverb for you. There are a bunch of different proverbs coming up. You see here on page 8, there's a couple there for you to start getting familiar with. That's kind of how they teach little lessons, or how they talk about how they have learned something, because the elders have said this. Okay. Chapter 2, you're going to see the fearless nature and start to get the personality of Okonkwo. You also should get a sense of the idea of they are in Nigeria, nighttime. Unless there is a full moon that illuminates them, their village gets incredibly dark at night, and there's this sense of, just like the forest was a place of fear in the Crucible, this also has the idea of darkness creating fear amongst the people. So if you don't get that, I want to make sure you understand that. You're going to see some of the emotions of Okonkwo. His primary emotion is anger. You're going to find out why. But you're also going to see how he has kind of overcome some adversity and has become a prosperous tribesman in his own way. If you were going to use the audio files, all I'm able to do is give you kind of that chunk of chapters 1 through 4, the way I have it broken apart. You're going to want to mark where you stop at the minute and say, okay, I've listened to 9 minutes and 32 seconds, and that's the end of chapter 3, or whatever. So you kind of know where you're at. If you come to me and say, where in the audio is chapter 4 start? I don't know. You should keep track of it as you're listening. Okay, that's not something I have those numbers written down for. You have an image in the Schoology folder kind of showing you a little bit of the family tree. You see there Okonkwo, you see his father to the left, and then you see 3 women silhouette. Noi's mother, Ikwifi, and Ojugo. He has 3 wives. That is the culture that they live in. It's a sign of prosperity, because the more wives you have, the more children you have, and the more prosperous you have the ability to be, because you have more children working the land, especially male children. And then you see some of the children below, and then also in the corner you have Ikamafuna. He's a character that will be introduced to us shortly. Just a visual, for us visual learners to kind of get a sense of what his home, his compound looks like. You see his obi, or his main hut. Each wife has a hut where she has her children. You see they have a religious structure, a shrine there. They have a goat pen, they have a yam barn, they have this earthen wall around the entire compound. This should give you a sense that this man is pretty prosperous. He has kind of a nice space for himself that he's been able to create with his hard work. Also, looking ahead to chapters 3 and 4, part of this deadline, be looking for, I'm trying to help you kind of see what you're reading for, especially if this is not your favorite book, which is absolutely fine. It doesn't have to be. You still can be successful. I know you are all great readers. Chapter 3, Make sure you know who the Oracle of the Hills is, what they do, what happened to Okonkwo's father, Unoka, and how or what did the wealthy villager Nikwakibi do for him. You're also going to be introduced to an idiom. I'll quickly tell you, in the American culture, an idiom is a phrase that you use to describe something. An example would be, it's raining cats and dogs. When we say that in our country, we don't mean literally it's raining cats and dogs outside. Obviously, we mean it's raining really, really hard. There is a history and etymology as you look back at idioms, but this culture also has them. And I want to point that out to you, that you'll see one on page 20. So as you get to the end of this first section of reading, you're going to learn a little more about his personality. You're going to meet his son. And then you had a name in the corner, Ikamafuna. That is the adopted son. How does that happen, and how does he get along with his birth son? Then you're going to start to see some of their traditions and their culture. One of them is the Week of Peace. What does that mean? And also the significance and importance of the yam crop. I saw that on a lot of the one-pagers, so some of you all are getting that idea, that that is the king crop. It's a big deal, so pay attention to that. Otherwise, good luck. Stick with it. Let me know if you have any questions.